the ability to connect the dots, and really bring serious money to the firms. But unfortunately, these skills are not tested out early on in a career of an analyst or an associate at a law firm. Hey guys, Kareem Babeh here, entrepreneur, fund manager, and previously an investment banker. That's how I started my career, for those of you that don't know much about my early days on Wall Street. Anyways, so the old paradigm is if you want to become an investment banker as a senior managing director or a major partner at a law firm on Wall Street, the road starts with 100+ week as a junior analyst or an associate at a law school, and all of that will hopefully lead you to glory. But the skill set they wanted to test you guys early on in your careers, resiliency, attention to details, often involves mundane work. Somehow you got to pay your dues, you got to make some people money before you start making money yourself, etc., etc. But recently, AI has changed, part of that. There's an article in Wall Street Journal mentioning that UBS, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan are piloting AI as a companion, potentially as a substitute for these junior positions, which quite frankly is music to my ears, because the old paradigm worked in a different way than what the new paradigm requires to train, at least the new generation. So the old paradigm assumes that if you're good at putting in 100+ hours, paying attention to details, modeling, drafting document if you're a lawyer, supporting your partners, that potentially you have a shot at becoming a moneymaker later on for the firm. Quite frankly, that couldn't be distant from the truth. I'm not saying that those who are great analysts or junior associate not going to become great investment bankers, but I will also say that a lot of those that didn't have those skills or didn't want to develop those skills, or actually they didn't have those innate skills, they get weed out, and we could have potentially missed out on the skills that they had, such as soft skills, emotional intelligence, the ability to connect the dots, and really bring serious money to the firms. But unfortunately, these skills are not tested out early on in a career of an analyst or an associate at a law firm. So therefore, if AI comes in and is capable of doing the mundane, repetitive work that keeps like associate and analyst until 4 a.m. In the office unnecessarily, and then from the get-go, start to recruit based on the potential of these analysts and associates as potential senior leaders of a firm, as opposed to people who's gonna, churn and burn after 100-hour weeks, is potentially much more interesting for these firms, for humanity in general. Mind you, a lot of the great analysts and associates end up burning out, and they don't want to even continue doing investment banking if you work somebody 100+ hours a week for years. And then if you are waiting for them to kind of start really making you money, by that time they're just fed up and they move on to hopefully bigger and better things. So this is actually, quite frankly, great news if this is going to bleed into other industries as well. If you can have a machine that can do a repetitive task, has better memory than us as human. Remember, our brain is not wired to store, our brain is wired to think. So that's why we have the tendency to forget things, because we want to conserve energy for what really matters, and then leave the other energy for tasks that requires more brain power. And if we can outsource the repetitive tasks, the memory storage to a machine, and then we move on into more of what we're supposed to do as human, connect, really visualize the future, act on the future, that can only benefit us. So I'm really welcoming this change. And to be honest with you, to hell with 100+ hours a week for these junior analysts and associates. You don't have to go through that if the machine can work, actually not 100 hours, machine can work 24/7 without it being fatigued. And once we just start training these bright individuals on what matter most, which is, hey, understanding business trends, understanding how to communicate with clients, and really have a solid business acumen, because you don't have to worry about spreadsheets anymore. The AI will do it for you. Anyways, I know this might be a little bit controversial. Some of the senior guys may say, I've gone through this training that would make me successful. Yes, I get it, but I think what made you successful is probably the inherent skill set that you had before developing those skills that made you go through. But anyway, it's a system, so you have to weed out things. You have to develop a mechanism by which people rise, people fall. It used to be, hey, can you sustain 100 hours a week? Now I think from the get-go, the machine can sustain 100 hours a week. Now, can you really add value and justify your existence? Anyway, I hope you like these videos. Don't forget to add your comments below and subscribe to the channel. And till then, have a wonderful day. Bye.